If you've ever checked your blood pressure at home and thought, these numbers are all over the place, I don't know which one to trust, you're not alone. I'm Dr. Tasha Meadows. Welcome to Medical Clarity, where we make health make sense. I hear this all the time. People buy a home blood pressure cuff. They do what they think is right, and the readings still feel confusing or inconsistent. That can be frustrating and honestly a little scary. They might wonder, am I doing this wrong? Is my machine broken? Is something wrong with me? You deserve better than guesswork. A few small changes in how you measure can turn those scattered readings into information you can rely on. Let me tell you about James. He came in worried because his home readings were all over the map. One day 160 over 95, the next day 135 over 82, then 148 over 88. He was terrified something serious was happening. When I asked him to show me how he checked his blood pressure at home, it explained almost everything. He was checking right after walking in the door, still talking on the phone, sometimes with his legs crossed, sometimes standing, sometimes with the cuff over a sweatshirt. The machine was fine, the method was the problem. Once we made a few simple changes, his readings became much more steady and his anxiety came down too. Let's start with the basic setup. Choose a chair where you can sit with your back supported and your feet flat on the floor. No legs crossed. If your feet don't reach the floor, use a footstool. This matters more than people realize. Dangling feet can add 5 to 10 points to your reading. Rest your arm on the table so the cuff is at the level of your heart. If the cuff is too low or too high, your numbers can be off. Use the same arm each time. Most people use the left, and make sure the cuff fits properly. If it's too tight or too loose, the readings won't be accurate. The cuff should wrap snugly around your upper arm, with the tubing lined up along the inside of the arm over the artery. Before you press the button, sit quietly for about 5 minutes. No talking, no scrolling, and no email. Just sit, breathe normally, and let your body arrive. Those 5 minutes matter. Your blood pressure needs time to settle after you've been moving around. If you check the moment you sit down, you're measuring your just walked across the room pressure, not your resting baseline. Those few minutes of stillness, plus good positioning and the right cuff size, set the stage for a reading you can actually trust. Now let's talk about when to check, because timing matters more than most people realize. Most people, the goal is not to check all day long. The goal is to get a clear, consistent snapshot. Choose 1 or 2 times a day that you can stick with. For many people, that's first thing in the morning before medications and breakfast, and again in the evening before bed. Try to avoid checking right after a meal, right after caffeine, or immediately after exercise or a stressful event. Give your body at least 30 minutes after those moments before you take a reading. Here's why that matters. If you check your blood pressure right after your morning coffee, you're measuring your caffeinated pressure. If you check it right after a tense phone call, you're measuring your stressed pressure. Those numbers are real, but they're not your calm baseline. They're snapshots of a specific moment. What you want is consistency. Same time of day, same conditions, same setup. That's how you see patterns instead of random spikes. When you check at about the same time each day, you start to see a pattern instead of a collection of disconnected numbers. Now let's look at a few different habits to throw off your readings, even when you're trying to do everything right. These are a handful of very common habits that can shift your blood pressure reading without you actually realizing it. Let me walk you through the 3 biggest mistakes and how they actually change your numbers. Mistake number 1, talking while the cuff is inflating. This seems harmless, but this can raise your blood pressure by 10 to 15 points. That's the difference between a normal reading and one that looks like you need medication. So when you press that button, stop talking. Don't answer questions. Don't chat on the phone. Just sit quietly. breathe normally, and let the machine do its work. If you need to talk, wait until after the reading is done. Mistake number 2, poor positioning. This one is huge because small position changes adds up fast. Crossing your legs can add 2 to 8 points. Holding your arm in the air instead of supporting it on a table can add 10 points. Sitting with your feet dangling instead of flat on the floor can add another 5 to 10 points. Add those together and poor positioning can raise your reading by 20 points or more, even though nothing is wrong with your actual blood pressure. So, back supported, feet on the floor, or on a footstool if they don't reach, arm resting on a table at heart level. Cuffs snug, but not too tight. Get the setup right and you're already most of the way there. Mistake number 3, bad timing. Checking right after a cigarette, right after caffeine, or when you're in the middle of a stressful conversation can give you a higher reading than your actual pattern. Even a full bladder can nudge your blood pressure up. None of this means you've harmed yourself. It just means the number you see in that moment isn't the calm baseline we're trying to measure. Wait at least 30 minutes after coffee, meals, exercises, or a stressful moment. Empty your bladder before you check. Sit quietly for 5 minutes before pressing the button. These aren't perfectionist rules. They're ways to make sure you're measuring your actual blood pressure and not your body's reaction to something that just happened. When you smooth out these small habits, your readings start to reflect your real everyday blood pressure, not just a stressful or rushed moment. And when you combine good setup, consistent timing, and fewer of these little landmines, your numbers start telling a much clearer story. Remember James, the one whose home readings were all over the map? Here's what happened after we fixed his method. He started sitting down for a full 5 minutes before checking. Back supported, feet flat, arm at heart level. No talking, no phone, and no distractions. He checked at the same time every morning, right after he woke up, before breakfast and coffee. Within a week, his readings became remarkably consistent. 117/62, 115/70, and 120/65. When he came back to see me with that log, his relief was immediate. I told him this is exactly what we needed to see. No medication necessary. He wasn't sick. He wasn't ignoring a problem. He just needed the right method to see what his body was actually doing. When you learn how to sit, how to position your arm, when to check, and what to avoid right before reading, your blood pressure numbers shift from feeling random to feeling like a pattern you can understand. You're no longer reacting to each individual reading in isolation. You're watching a bigger picture over time. That bigger picture is what helps you and your doctor make calm, informed decisions. It's the difference between seeing 152 one day and panicking versus seeing 152 and thinking, was I rushing? Did I just have coffee? Let me check again tomorrow morning when I'm calm and positioned correctly. That shift from fear to curiosity changes everything. Let's recap what we covered today. First, setting up correctly. Back supported, feet flat on the floor, use a footstool if needed, arms resting on a table at heart level, proper cuff size, and 5 full minutes of sitting quietly before you press the button. Second, timing and consistency. Check at the same time each day, usually morning and evening. Wait at least 30 minutes after coffee, meals, exercise, or stress. Same time, same conditions, same setup. And third, avoid the 3 big mistakes. No talking during the reading, it can add 10 to 15 points. Good position matters. Poor setup can add 20 points or more. And timing is everything. Check when you're calm, not when you're caffeinated, stressed, or rushed. When you get these 3 things right, your home readings become a clear window into your actual blood pressure pattern. And that pattern is what helps you and your doctor make calm, informed decisions based on your real baseline, not your stressed moment. Again, building that clearer picture. Choose one time of the day you can realistically stick with, morning or evening, and take your blood pressure at the same time each day this week. You don't have to be perfect, just aim for consistency. Over days and weeks, those readings will help you see your true pattern much more clearly than any one number ever could. If you've ever watched your numbers jump at the doctor's office and felt your heart sink, our next video is for you. We'll talk about why your blood pressure can spike in the clinic, what white coat hypertension is, and how to tell the difference between a true problem and an anxious moment in a medical setting. You're welcome to join me whenever you're ready. And remember, be gentle with yourself. Small steps matter, and they add up more than you think.